हेलो नमस्कार एन्ड वेलकम टु सिक्किम क्रोनिकल। तपाईहरु सबैजनालाई सिक्किम क्रोनिकलमा स्वागत छ र आज यस एडिसनमा म तपाईहरु माझ अति नै स्पेशल गेस्टको परिचय गराउन लागिरहेको छु। उहाँ एक प्रख्यात मोटिभेसनल स्पिकर हुनुहुन्छ र सँगसँगै उहाँले युवाहरूलाई मोटिभेट गर्नुहुन्छ अनि विभिन्न इस्युजहरू जति पनि छ स्पेशली द स्ट्रेस म्यानेजमेन्ट यो माथि उहाँले धेरै काम गर्दै आइरहनु भएको छ। उहाँको बारेमा भन्नुपर्दाखेरि उहाँले बिटेक गर्नुभएको दिल्ली युनिभर्सिटीबाट अनि उहाँ एमएनसी कम्पनीमा मल्टिनेसनल कम्पनीमा काम गर्नुहुन्थ्यो युएसएमा, तर सबै छोडेर अहिले उहाँले एउटा आफ्नो डिफ्रेन्ट पाथ लिनुभएको छ अनि उहाँले प्रचार गर्दै हुनुहुन्छ स्पेशली अन स्ट्रेस म्यानेजमेन्ट एन्ड मोटिभेसन। सो लेडिज एन्ड जेन्टलमेन, इट्स माई अनर एन्ड प्लेजर टु इंट्रोड्यूस यू विथ नन अदर देन अमोक लीला दास जी। हेलो नमस्कार।
Namaskar, Hare Krishna.
What brings you to Sikkim?
My 35-year-old love for Sikkim brought me back here.
Your parents were in Sikkim?
Yes, it was my father because he was a government employee. So my early childhood I spent in Northeast. So I spent 4 years in Sikkim, Gangtok. In fact, my youngest sister, she took birth in Sikkim, Gangtok. So I'm feeling very nostalgic coming back to my 35-year-old love for Sikkim.
So you have this very rooted connection with the state of Sikkim. So now I just wanted to ask you, Amokji, as I said in my opening remark that nowadays we so much talk about this stress management. Maybe it's a competition to live better life than others, or maybe the materialistic point of view to get more richer and famous every day. People are somehow dealing with this problem of mental health. You have been one of the persons who have been talking about this openly. Tell us, what is your point of view on this?
Actually, there are various reasons why there is a stress in life, especially when there is gap between expectations and reality. Bigger the gap, more the stress. So that way we should reduce the gap between the reality and expectations. So reality is that okay, it's a pandemic time, difficult time. Okay, so I should not expect that I will have financially I'll be going high. So when the earning goes low, so learning should go high. I repeat, when earning is going low, so learning should go high. So this is a time for learning, for grooming ourselves. All those who are youngsters and they see that professionally they are not growing. In fact, I know that there are people who are from IIMs and IITs. They are not getting offer letter from the companies. Why? Because it's a pandemic time. Economical slowdown is there all across the globe. And that's why even those who are from IIMs, Ahmedabad or say IITs, they are not getting jobs. So in case they are not getting job, so they should feel relaxed that this is not my personal problem, it's a global issue. So since it is a time when I'm not able to make any earning, it's a time for me to do learning. So they can enroll themselves in some kind of learning. There are many online courses which are being offered, professional courses they can enroll in. We also offer some spiritual courses so that people can have more inner strength, more mental strength to face the calamity, the difficult times in life. So in this way, we should use this time in learning. Also, stress comes because of association. Because of bad association, people tend to have more stress. If good association will always try to figure out that how there is a bright side to the dark side. But the bad association will say, well, it is all dark side. It is all dark. It is all dark. It is so dark. And that phase, even if somebody is depressed 10%, he becomes depressed 60-70%. Why? Because of bad association. So just like the drop of water, when it associates with the lotus, it becomes dew. When it associates with mud, it becomes mud. It associates with oyster, it becomes pearl. So it's all about association. So we should also be choosy about association during pandemic time. Have good association, holy association, spiritual association, and in this way, even in dark side, you will see the bright side. Life is currently like because of pandemic, people have become more spiritual. Because dukh mein sumiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi. Jo sukh mein sumiran kare to dukh ka hai ka hoy. But anyways, people during difficult times they become more spiritual, and that's why even on television we could see that Ramayana and Mahabharata became such a super duper hit. All across the globe people were watching Mahabharata and Ramayana because people became more spiritual. Also during this time people's health has improved because now they have time, they can work on their health. Otherwise, like I'm coming from Delhi, people live such mechanistic life, such a demanding life that they don't have time for their families and friends, for their own health, what to speak of God. So now they have time. Pandemic has given them time for their families as well as for their health. So their relationships have improved. Overall death rate has come down 27%. Like now on road rage, malaria, this, that, people are not dying. Because of corona, some died. So overall death rate has also reduced. So if we see the bright side of the whole thing, then there is bright side as well. But the point is that bad association will only highlight the dark side. But the good association will highlight the bright side to it as well. So in this way, this corona thing, we should be practical. Currently, we should just try to use our resources very judiciously, and that is practical. We should not think, oh no, my career, I had to become something. Well, excuse me, it's a time to not to make your career. It's a time of survival. So whatever resources you have, use them very judiciously. Be very wise, and that's practical actually. I know three of my friends. One is chartered accountant, two of them are engineers, and they were all living in their different apartments. Each were paying 35,000 rupees rent. But now since they have lost their job, all the three of them, they have lost their jobs. So what they are doing now, they all shifted in one house so that they give only 35,000 rupees rent, and they would, of course, they would honor each other's privacy. But they are saving their resources. Now they are not thinking of the career. I should have in a top-notch company. No. It's a time for survival. That's it. Once this phase is over, then of course we'll have a good time as well. And because of corona, in future we'll have many more jobs. Because China will not have jobs anymore because it became notorious because of corona. Corona has its origin in China. So that's why jobs would also come more to India. So future is bright. Just wait for some time.
Okay, at this age of cutthroat competition, and at this age of pulling each other down to reach that goal and to be successful, how can we find that inner peace?
Actually, till the time we keep competing with each other, we'll not have peace, because this competition is more driven by a sense of envy. And enviousness cannot give us peace of mind. If you want to compete with your own self. Yesterday what I was, I should become a better person tomorrow. Whether in terms of being moral, being a professional, and being a spiritual being as well. I should become a better person tomorrow. So I should compete not with the world. I should compete with my own self. That's the healthy competition. Competing with others is driven by envy. And envy can also be written as envy, no vacancy. You'll have no vacancy in happiness. In case you are envious of someone because you are driven by competition, sense of competition. That's not good.
Amrukji, you are well qualified as an engineer, and you were there in USA in a very good multinational company.
Yep.
Eventually you decided to sacrifice everything.
Yep.
Materialistically. What was that point of thought that which decided you to quit everything and jump into this motivation spree?
Yeah, actually earlier I had the idea that I should serve humanity. But my plan was to feed the poor people. But I could see that people are less suffering because of the belly. They are suffering more because of their minds. Log tan se kam dukhi hai, man se zyada dukhi hai. So I should serve their minds. Now the question was how to serve their mind. Because most of the miserable conditions are because of the mind. So, because when I read Bhagavad Gita and I chanted Hare Krishna, my mind became very happy. I felt genuine joy. So then I got the reply, okay, to serve the mind, the best way are the teachings of the Gita as well as chanting the holy names. So then I decided that, okay, there are many software engineers with C, C++, Java and all that, but ultimately it is all Mar Java. So that's why I should, instead of becoming a project manager, I was project manager when I left my job. Instead of remaining as a project manager, I should actually serve humanity. So then I decided that I should serve humanity by serving their minds, by making their minds happy. If their minds would be happy, they would actually be happy. Bodily, there are people who are having branded food and branded clothes, but they're not happy. Their minds are not happy. So we have to serve their minds, and the best way is spirituality. So that's why I decided that I should serve humanity in the best possible way. That is by connecting them to the grace of God. And that's why hundreds and thousands of people are benefited. I feel blessed that way.
Why is it that whenever we see Guruji, donning a saffron cloth,
Yeah.
we relate it with a religious connotation.
Uh-huh.
I mean to say, like, many people may be perceiving right now that I might be taking, like, a religious interview of yours, right? So how can we have that distinguished, mindset between a spirituality and a religious connotation?
Okay. Actually, religion and spirituality both are required. Sometimes people say, I am very spiritual, but I am not religious. And it sounds very cool. But actually, religiosity and spirituality, they complement each other. How? Actually, religion is more concerned with rituals. Say, for example, say those who are Muslims, they may do hands like this. Christians may fold a hand like this. And Hindus may do like this. Now, this may be different. This, or this. This is exoteric, which is religion. But spiritual are the emotions, the spiritual emotions which we have in our heart. So that phase, spirituality is expressed by religiosity. Say, for example, if a girl is liked by a boy, and a boy comes with a bouquet, say red rose, and he says, "Well, Jasmine, I really love you." Now, this rose flower is an expression of his love for that girl. So, feelings is actually spirituality, and the expression of those feelings is religion. That means those rituals which we are using to express my feelings. So religion and spirituality, both they complement each other. There is nothing wrong in being religious, but of course we should not do war. We should not create conflicts on the name of religion. And actually in this world you will see that people are not fighting because of religion. They are fighting because of dominance. They are fighting so that I can be ruling this world. So it's lust for power which makes people fight on the name of religion. But actually it is not religion which is the cause. It is lust for power.
So this is what exactly I want to bring in discussion. India, in its preamble, clearly states that India is a secular state,
Yes.
which means that every individual has a right to practice its own religion.
Yes.
But we see so much of, war, so much of hatred based on the religion.
Yes.
What is the role of guru like you to sensitize people on this?
Okay, the job of guru is to make them realize that actually you are fighting, but your fighting is meaningless. How? Just like somebody fights for the sun, so, and that this sun, it's an Indian sun, and somebody who's in Pakistan may say, well, that's a Pakistani sun, and the one who's in China may say, well, that's a Chinese sun. The one who's in Japan may say, oh, that's a Japanese sun. Well, actually, sun is neither Indian, nor Pakistani, nor Chinese, nor Japanese, nor African, nor European, right? Yes, right. But sun gives its glory, its sunshine, its nourishment to everyone. Similarly, God is one, but His grace is upon everyone. Just like sun has got various names, Surya, Prabhakar, Nishantkar. These are various names. Those who are from science background may say it's a ball of hydrogen undergoing fusion reaction converting into helium. But we are talking about the sun, right? Similarly, God is one. His name can be different. Like say his name is Allah. Allah means the greatest of all. Allahu Akbar. And that's why his name is Allah as well. His name is Christ as well, because Christ means pure. And because he is all pure, that's why his name is Christ as well. His name is Krishna, because Krishna is all attractive. God is all attractive. And that's why his name is Krishna. His name is Jehovah. Why? Because Jehovah means all merciful. God is all merciful. So his name is Jehovah as well. So multiple names but same entity. Just like even amongst ourselves, say, you may say, oh, that's your name is Vikram. Your friends, they call you Vicky. Or they may call you hey, Papite ka chilka. Various names. But entity is one. The person is one. Similarly, God is one. There were two friends, Hindu and Muslim. And they were friends actually. So somebody asked them, how come both of you are friends? Because we have seen Hindu and Muslim, they are fighting with each other. How come both of you are friends? And they gave a remarkable reply.
Yeah.
They said, whether the master comes in 3-piece suit, Reed and Taylor, or swimsuit, or Pathani suit, in dhoti kurta, or without clothes, dog recognizes the master always. Similarly, one Supreme Lord is worshipped by various names with different rituals. But a dog should recognize the master. That my God is worshipped with the name Allah in Islam. My God is worshipped as Christ in Christianity. And the mightiest son of that great God Christ is Jesus Christ. So I may have when I have this understanding, we would not have any conflicts. And this is what is required to be taught by the gurus to the humanity. Then why are you fighting on the name of religion? When you are fighting on the name of religion, we are just satisfying our own egos. We are becoming devotees of our egos, not devotees of God. Mazhab nahi sikhata aapas mein bair rakhna. Religion never teaches to have conflicts. What teaches us to have conflicts? Our own egos, our desire for dominance, my way or highway. This attitude has caused conflict.
We have so much of issues to address, such as unemployment, substance abuse, mental health disorders, depression, suicides. Where comes the role of people like you, who in fact has a huge followers?
Yeah.
And how do you work in a tandem with others to spread awareness on this? What is the role exactly?
Yeah, actually, many of you might have studied Maslow, the needs hierarchy. So, in the needs hierarchy, there is physical needs, and there are mental needs, intellectual needs, social needs, egoistic needs, and on the top is the need of self-actualization. That's also a need. So, people satisfy their physical needs by having nice food, their social needs by socializing with people, having friends and all, intellectual needs by learning something in the schools and colleges. But we see that people do not satisfy their need of self-realization, that means spiritual need. And because they are not satisfying this particular need, that's why they are under stress, under anxiety, they drink wine, they take drugs. This is what is happening. Why? Because they are not satisfying a particular need, which is spiritual need, as per Maslow's needs hierarchy. So we are to do that as well. We being spiritual beings, we are spiritual teachers. We are here to guide people to satisfy that particular need. And if we do not satisfy that need, then we see that even people become say superstars, but they commit suicide. Like Bollywood has seen regular suicides, whether Divya Bharti, Nafisa Joseph, or say Praveen Bobby, Sushant Singh Rajput, although his suicide was quite controversial. But we see that even in Bollywood industry, people are committing suicide. People are popular, they have wealth, comforts, committing suicides. I have seen selfie videos of IAS officers, IPS officers committing suicide, doctors and engineers committing suicide. If they have everything, wealth, power, post, position, beauty, aristocracy, everything they have, yet they are committing suicide because they are not satisfying that need, spiritual need. So people like us, we have a job that we should address this particular need and guide people how they can satisfy this particular need.
So in a nutshell, no matter whatever you achieve in your life materialistically, what matters is the inner happiness.
Yes, inner happiness, but that will come from spiritual happiness. Why? Because at the core we are spiritual. Soul
How
is
can we
spiritual.
become spiritual?
Well, engaging in spiritual activities,
Like
say chanting the names of God. We see that in all
any god,
religions.
any god.
God is of course one. Nobody can say, well, prime minister are many. You choose your one. Or whom do you like? You may say, well, I like Smriti Irani very much. Okay, all right. So your prime minister is Smriti Irani. Okay, whom do you like? Well, I like Amit Shah. All right, your prime minister is Amit Shah, and somebody likes Modi. But that's not the thing.
Why are you taking only BJP names?
Because currently they are in power. Because currently they are in power. If it would have been Congress, and I might have been taking their names.
Okay.
But we see that prime minister is one. Under him there can be many cabinet ministers, but prime minister is one. Similarly, God is one. He may have various angels, prophets, messengers, but God is one. So that way, when we submit ourselves to God, like say for example by chanting the names of God, like Bible mentions, the kingdom of God is recited by those who chant Thy name. Islam mentions that we should chant the 99 names of Allah. Or say in Sanatan Dharma it is mentioned Hare Ranam, Hare Ranam, Hare Namaiva Kevalam, chanting the names of God. So this is common to all. That means chanting the names of God. What we can do, read the scriptures. Where if somebody is a Christian, we read Bible. Quran can be read by a Muslim guy. Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam can be read by a Hindu person. But we should read scriptures, offer prayers. We should glorify God when we come together, and that's why this is how we satisfy our spiritual need, and then we can actually be happy. People ignore it on the name of responsibilities, and that's why even being successful they commit suicides, and that's happening all across.
But I think it's not necessary as of what you did, like you sacrificed everything to, preach or to become happy.
Yeah.
People can earn, people can have a comfortable life and as well as become happy.
Usually we take mutually exclusive, either this or that, but it's not like this. Both can happen. Like when Arjun is fighting on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he's fighting, at the same time he's remembering God as well, because God told him to fight. So parallelly can happen. So now Lord Krishna says, Maam Anusmara Yuddhecha, remember me and fight. So we can do our duties as well. I'm not saying everyone should become a monk like me. That's like we don't expect that everyone should become a BSF ka Naujawan. 99.99% people are civilians, but there are 1% people who are BSF people, and they are required to secure our borders. Similarly, 99% people can do their duties being a businessman, being a working class, being a homemaker, being a student, they can continue. But we also need some people who should full time dedicate themselves, like myself, to educate people about the value of life, about how important is this human form of life, what we should be doing, what we should not be doing. So full time selfless workers are also required, those who are monks, and so there is also necessity for them. Just like we need chartered accountants, we need doctors, we need engineers, we need architects, we need medical people. Similarly, we also need some monks.
Eventually, finally, what do you perceive about Sikkim, and what is the message to the people of Sikkim?
Well, I would say Sikkim is a very lovely place because people are very simple-hearted. People here are educated, they are intelligent, and because they are intelligent, they are simple-hearted. That's why they deserve the blessings of the Lord, and they are surrounded by these mountains. So that's why Prakriti, which is nature, has already been blessing them. So, but yes, I request them that they should also take care of spirituality apart from their regular duties. That also they should do, so that various issues which we are facing currently in Sikkim, like say for example unemployment, or say drugs, depression, loneliness, this can be tackled by having more inner strength. Along with that, of course, they can equip themselves more in skill. They may not go for a job, but they can have their own skill, and that phase they can offer their skills and services to others. In this way, they can attract more people to Sikkim. So in this way, professionally they would be sound, spiritually also they would be blossoming. So both can happen for Sikkim Gangtok people, and of course chanting the names of God would bring more and more grace in their lives.
Thank you so much, Amokji, for speaking with us in length and breadth. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
With camera person Subin Pradhan, this is Nirmal for Sikkim Chronicle.